Ooh, the technology.
What, like a medieval peasant?
Like a medieval peasant seeing the machine for the first time. That's actually really nice.
You've never seen one of these before?
No, I've never. I thought I was looking at the spoon and I thought it was like the.
Really? You never seen that before, huh?
Like
It's the invention of the rotten West.
It's a Swedish cheese cutter, actually.
Of course, it's Swedish.
Sweden just sent like 4 million of them to Ukraine, actually.
Nice, that's a new way of killing,
Yeah. Oh, that would hurt.
They're going to shave down the Russian soldiers, one slice at a time.
As you do in Ukraine.
I'm surprised. I just thought everybody's seen
for
these.
pizza?
Do you ever cut pizza with scissors?
Yeah.
That's how I cut pizza. When it's not, sometimes it doesn't come cut.
Roller.
It's because with a knife you have to do it with scissors. Just.
The lower one has like a flat thing.
Oh my gosh!
Lift it.
She just does not compute. We just blew poor Irina's mind.
Yeah. Like so far, she was just reading raw potatoes.
Okay, the next time we do one of these, you have to bring us some Ukrainian or Polish things. Some things that we're like, what the hell is that? Okay.
Like an ancient iron or something like this, right?
Yeah, sure. You mean a new iron? Yes, an ancient iron. Yeah, you pour coal into it. I'm Indy Neidell, and this is a TimeGhost Breakfast Club TimeGhost public service announcement. You see that there are 6 of us sitting around here on this very lovely Thursday in Bavaria. But the last couple of days, there were actually a bunch more of us. You see, we are an entirely digital company, but we do meet once a year. And for the last couple of years, since we've been allowed to after the pandemic, we have our company meeting at Oktoberfest in Munich. And how many were we? 21, 22?
24.
That's about the size of our company by now. And we were all there at Oktoberfest, which is, if you've never seen Oktoberfest, here's some footage from Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course, after all the fun and games, we've been shooting a lot of stuff. We have shot up to, today we're shooting October 28th, 1944. That's the latest episode we're shooting today, which features the largest naval battle in history, so that's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. So,
it's astonishing, actually, because 1944-45, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you'd think that by now, the Axis would be broken and everything would be over, kind of, but it's not.
No.
It's really intense. It's very hard to keep the episodes short, right?
Well, oh gosh.
My episodes as well.
All of these are for I complained in for the August and September episodes that they were all over like 3,500 words. All of these are over 4,000 words, which means poor Irina and everybody editing them has to do. I mean, writing them doesn't take that much longer. It's just it's you have to cut out more, and filming them doesn't take that much longer. Editing them does, right?
Yeah, for editing and for maps, it's just like at least half a day more of sitting and of intense work. Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a guy sitting here that you guys have never seen with us. Jakob, can you tell them a few words about what you do or who you are or something?
So, yeah, I'm a freelance video guy, and I got to know Astrid and Spartacus through the D-Day project and edited a few episodes, and now I'm stuck.
And now he's come over to the dark side. But you mentioned that we're getting to the end of 1944. 1945 is coming, or 2024, whichever world you're living in. And we have some projects we'd like to tell you about. Sparty, why don't you take it away?
So, we've spent quite a lot of time talking about what we want to do on top of what we're doing right now in the future. And we've come to some decisions. I'm sure that we're going to come up with new ideas, but these are some things that we definitely want to do and that we're going to do. Now, before we start talking about video content, I'd like to make one short announcement, and that is that we are going to go on location, but we're going to let you go on location as well. We're going to start organizing tours to places relevant to World War II and maybe other historical events as well through Europe, maybe other places in the future, but we start in Europe because that's the only place we have easy access to at this point. Okay. And the first one is going to be a trip through Bavaria. and you'll hear more about that here on the channel, and you will be able to take part in that. It's going to be really, really exciting.
Physically, virtually, if you're in New Zealand, you don't have to be here to take part in it.
That's right. But you can actually come here and be with us, meet us, and be part of the whole project. Okay. But I think the big thing that happens next year is really on your plate, Indy, right?
Yeah. Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and it's going to be a reality starting in June 2024. I am going to start my week-by-week chronological real-time coverage of the Korean War. I don't know what it's going to be called. It's probably going to have Korea in the title somewhere, though. I'm leaning that way. And yeah, well, you guys know, we've talked about it for a while. There aren't any really fantastic documentary series on the Korean War as far as I've seen. Nothing leaps to mind, nothing super famous. I mean, there's MASH, but that's, it's not,
Well, everybody thinks that's Vietnam.
But you know the thing about MASH, which I'm sure some of you know, if you go through the whole 10 years of the series and you add up all of the nights, all the nights that they're actually nighttime, it's longer than the entire Korean War itself was. So they were there before, they stayed there afterwards. There's going to be a couple of unique challenges for doing Korea as opposed to doing a world war. Well, it's going to be smaller, which is interesting because then I can go deeper into certain things because I'll have more time to cover more specific things. But there's also, spoiler already, there's also a long phase of real stalemate. And you think, well, how are you going to cover the stalemate chronologically week by week? And I have ideas for that, so you'll just have to see how I do that. But Korea.
Yeah, and I mean, Korea is in the middle of the Cold War, and Astrid, on popular demand, because so many people have asked for it, you're going to be diving straight into the Cold War as well, right?
Well, it comes naturally, because the whole spying that is going on at the end of the war eventually lands in the Cold War, because all that atomic things, bombs, who knows what, which spy actually gave the information to the Russians to really build the bomb. So that will be extremely, extremely...
Is it still going to be called Spies and Ties? Is it going to have a different name? Or?
Spies and
Don't
Tables.
ask me this.
Okay. It's going to be, though.
It's got to be Spies and Ties. It never occurred to me to use another name.
Okay, well, there you have it. We're Korea, Spies and Ties, but we have something else, right?
Absolutely.
That we're definitely doing.
And that's sort of my project that I'm going to get into. It's called Revolutions, but it's really about democracy and the development of democracy. And I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say that it covers the period between 1682 and 1989, basically.
It's called Revolutions, so you kind of gave him a spoiler already.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think you'd be surprised about what the title is. It is about revolutions in part, but it's not really only about revolutions. There's a lot of things going on there. And the first one that we're starting with there on that topic, something that we're going to do together as well, is the rise of Hitler. Seen through the eyes of the German press from 1930 to 1933.
The idea being, you had the real public tension and friction between, say, the communists on one side, the Nazis on the other side, everybody else caught in between. You had the street fighting, you had all that, but more importantly, everyone had their own newspaper, right? Nazis had the Völkische Beobachter, communists had their paper, the these had these paper, the these had these paper. So it'll be very interesting to use all of the very much biased and polarized separate side sources where they're the hero of the narrative in this struggle for Germany.
And like I said, this is sort of the kickoff to the whole Revolutions project, which is very much about the birth of democracy. And why we've chosen that one is also because it does have some parallels to current times, in as much that Germany was really a solid democracy in 1929, 1930. It was one of the most evolved democracies in the world at the time. And the vast majority of people really did not believe that neither the communists nor the Nazis were going to be able to topple that democracy and the journey. And it's a shock, even in 1933 when it happened. So it's going to be an interesting journey that has parallels in current times. You see, all of these things that we're talking about here have something to do with the Cold War. We've got the development of democracies, we've got the development of our autocracies, we've got the Korean War, we've got the espionage, all of that. And all of this comes together in a hub project that we're also going to do, which is the space race. And it's not going to be the space race, just rockets and stuff like that. It's going to be much more than that, right?
But there's going to be lots of rockets and stuff, too.
Yeah, sure.
And Laika. We'll have to have Laika in there, right? We're going to picture a Laika. Okay. But it's going to be more than that, although Laika's going to be the star.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, the whole world is changing during the roughly 15 years that we're talking about. Is 17 years, but the whole world is really going through dramatic change, and we're going to cover all of that, and it's going to be super exciting.
And this will start next year, and Korea will kick off in June. Okay, well, that was a rather long TimeGhost Breakfast Club. Our continuity person did not do a good job because our plates look different from how they did at the beginning. Okay, I don't have anything else to add, so we will see you all next time. Excelsior!